Welcome to the Talk Exchange podcast. It's your boys Nick and Francis in the building.
In the building, live in the flesh. Nick, what's popping?
Nothing much, man. What's up with you?
Hey, man, just happy to be here, fam.
That's what it is, man.
I said fam. The slangs from the six. I'm just happy to be here, brother.
That's it, man. That's it. Quick disclaimer before we start. You know what it is. Whatever we're discussing on here is simply just our experiences.
For sure.
And our own opinions.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're not here to offend anybody and all that stuff. We're just talking.
Exactly. We're not here giving you some statistical facts or anything like that. Just strictly our opinions, some experiences, and just having fun, man. Just enjoy it and just, yeah.
And that's it.
Ride
with
with
that
us.
With that said, monogamy.
Yeah. right into it, eh?
Right into it. We were talking about it a little bit in the week.
Yeah.
And I like your couple of points you made. And I want you to share it here.
Okay.
Now, is monogamy actually natural? Was one of the things we were talking about.
Yeah, that's a tough one because you know what? It's a difficult one, man. In my opinion, I don't think monogamy is natural. I don't think it's natural to the sense where you actually stay with one person for the rest of your life. You know, someone that can satisfy your physical urges. Now, can people be monogamous? Yes, they can. But is it natural as animals, as people that have urges just like any other regular animal? Probably not.
Yeah.
You know,
we were taught that, right? Really,
yeah.
From day one, we were taught that, being with one person at a time,
Exactly.
or whatever, that, that's the law, the unwritten law.
Exactly.
Rule or whatever,
Exactly.
Right? So, but I know, part of the things we were talking about, I know some people don't really know themselves in terms of what they want. If they can be in a monogamous to the relationship, because if they get with somebody, say a girl gets with a guy and that guy is more of that old school type that, married white picket fence type of deal. And she is like a little bit more free spirited, I guess.
So to call it, yeah, so to say.
So to call it. That person, I think, should have an idea that they have a hard time being with one person, don't you think?
I don't know, because you could know yourself, but then you could be in a situation where you grow apart from your partner and you start to actually find love or sexual satisfaction with other people. It happens that way, right? There are people that have been together for 40-something years, 60-something years, and they make it work. Because like I said, there's that law, that belief, and, that structure that they've had. And then you have some people that try it and, unfortunately, there's no click with that person. You're scared to break off your relationship, whether it's because you have you share a home together, you have kids. And so it's easy for some people to just have like a side piece or a side chick or a side dude, as opposed to like ruining your marriage, right?
Yeah.
So is it something that you can know yourself in order to do? Not really, because some people could be so confident with themselves, but then all of a sudden now they just see that one person that just sparks,
just does it for them, right?
That just does it for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's where we're talking about. We're like, you know what? Look at dogs, cats, lions, gorillas. They're not walking around holding hands with just one of their opposite species. They're just multiplying. They just it looks good. They just bang and they keep it moving. We're animals just like that too. We have that animal instinct, but because we are
we're advanced.
We're advanced, Homo sapiens, whatever you want to call it. We are able to say, you know what? No, let's just stay with one person. It could be disastrous if we're going all over the place reproducing, even though people still do it now. Let's just not hurt our people and hurt our partners. Let's just stay with one person because it's the right thing to do. Sexual urges is a natural thing. You know what I mean? Sexual urges are natural. Back in the days, you're able to sustain this monogamous relationship because there are not so many temptations around you.
Right.
This day and age, things have changed. You have social media. Oh my God, social media, Facebook, Instagram.
All up in the DMs, right?
Man, it's just the temptations are everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's very, very hard for people to try to be monogamous in this day and age, especially if your relationship is not really doing well.
Yeah. So some people I know have introduced like another facet to their sexual life, right? They want to stay together, they love each other, but it's been like 5 years or whatever number of years. Now they're a little bit bored. Now they introduce that third person or couple or whatever the deal is, right? Now, my question is, can monogamy just be listed down to just sex, or can it be where, because whether it's a female or male,
Yeah.
could be just interested in other conversation with someone else,
Of course.
right? And not really go that route.
Yeah.
So that's my question. Is it actually, would people more narrow it down to just sex, or can it be anything?
You know what? That's a great question. I think guys can actually do that because we can have intercourse with multiple women and still be the same with that one partner that we have.
Yeah.
Maybe not all guys, but most men. You know what I mean?
Most men, yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. And then, of course, females are emotional creatures. They use their emotions, their heart. So it'd be hard for a female to go out there and have intercourse with several guys and still be the same. You know what I mean? So it's different. Guys can do it, but a lot of women cannot do it, right? So if your woman is like, you know what, just have your fun every time you go out, just go, have your fun and come back to me. You know what? A lot of people will live in great relationships right now because men, we don't use our hearts sometimes when we just want to have sex.
Yeah.
We just want to just blaze and just keep it moving.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
And not to cut you,
Yeah.
but you are right, because a majority of men can do that,
Definitely.
and be, I mean, I lack for better words, not true, but like, just be in love with that one person. Right. And some people would beg to differ, because I had a conversation with someone about that before, and they're like, no, it's not possible. I don't care what you say. Like, you can't be in love with that one person. If you're really in love, truly in love with that person, then you're not going to do that on them.
Man, first of all, that's another thing. What is in love and out of love, in love, out of love? To me, there's like 3 or 4 different types of love. The love you have for your parents, love you have for your children, the love you have for your siblings, and the love you have for your partner. When you meet somebody and they're like, oh, I was in love with you 1 year down the road. I'm not in love. I'm out of love. It gets a little confusing. Do you love me or not? When a man loves a woman, you even know that song, When a Man Loves a Woman.
Yeah.
I forgot the artist, but shame on me. I should know this because I am music.
I should know this too.
But when a man loves a woman, like we love a woman.
Yeah.
But ladies, this is just me, based on just my opinion. A man could go out there and have fun with multiple girls and still come back and still be the same with their woman.
Yeah.
Now, if a woman goes out there and have intercourse with a bunch of guys, chances are when she comes back, she's not going to be the same.
Yeah, there's a high chance. I agree with that.
It's just what it is. Take it or leave it, just my opinion, and based on experiences and also what other people have told me, especially females. So it's very, very hard. So, when people are like, oh, I'm in love, I'm not in love and stuff like that, guys could actually maintain a healthy relationship even if they have other partners.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. I'm going to say that. However, the one part that I also do believe is when someone, and whether it's female or male, once there's levels, like you said, there's levels to love, different types of love.
Yeah.
And some people have gone through life and they in high school had a thing, a boyfriend, girlfriend that they were in love with. And then later on they grew up and they're not really in love. They find out that wasn't love. That was like puppy love stuff.
Excitement.
Now, right. And they've gone through maybe a couple of relationships and met this person, that person, this person, that person.
Yeah.
A couple of times thinking they're in love. But then they meet that one, like you said, that one that just does it for them. And now they're really in love. It's something that they've never felt before. And I think, and I've seen people like that, like guy friends or whatever, that just met that one. And they used to be that player. Now they just like, no, this one, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I think you're right with that rule. I agree with that. Men could actually go out and do whatever and then come back home like nothing.
Because we just wanted to just release.
Yeah, exactly. Just a release, you know. But I think once someone really has like that true love and that sincere person that they sincerely love, you know, I think they could cut most of that out.
Yeah, but when you say in love and in love, it's following head over heels. People confuse that for in love. When you like somebody and you really like them, that means you love them a lot. You like them a lot. But people define that as in love. Like when you're in love and out of love, in love, you love the person or you don't love the person. That's just how I see it. Now, if you choose not to because your sexual appetite, like your sexual urges or your sexual needs are being fulfilled, then you don't have to have a reason to go out there because you're happy with the activities that's being performed, whether it's fresh, whether it's like, a few years down the road. But then there's some people where they could still love you the same, but there's just something that's lacking.
Yeah.
I always say this to friends, especially girlfriends of mine, like, oh, how could you do this? Or, how could you want to be in a, open relationship, rare, blah, blah, blah. Like if I give you spaghetti to eat for 20 something years, is that spaghetti going to be exciting? Are you still going to love the spaghetti like you did the first few times you tried it? Chances are no.
If you add some meatballs or...
Yeah, those are just spicing it up, right? But the good thing is, just like anything else, perfect example. When you had your first brand new vehicle, you didn't want nothing to even scratch it. You washed it every other day, every day. Nothing touches it.
Now that you say that, okay, now I'm clear because yes, you are absolutely right. The time I first got my first Benz, and yeah, like
nothing touches.
Nothing. Don't even eat up. Don't even chew gum in that car.
You see a speck of dirt falling on your car, on the hood of your car, you're running to blow it off. Yeah. But then after a decade of having that vehicle, you don't care no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't care anymore.
And what's so crazy is while you're bored of that now, you're willing to sell that. Another man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
Here comes another person cherishing that vehicle that you don't even care about anymore.
Yeah.
It's just that when things progress, things get boring and things get old and you get used to it.
Yeah. I actually don't even have a rebuttal on that one. that's a pretty good
but it's the truth.
Yeah, that's but I would say though, I guess that's where real sincere feelings would come into play, because and those two people will have to be genuinely matched together. I guess for lack of better words, it's like soulmate, right? Let me just use soulmate, right? Those two people pretty much have to be soulmates, because after a while, yes, it does get redundant or whatever the deal is, that relationship, right?
I don't know, man. I'm just looking at you and I'm not, I don't.
You know what I mean?
I hear you, but at the same time, I would actually challenge that. And here's why.
Okay.
Nick, I could still go out there and have fun and still have my soulmate.
Right.
Soulmate is not a sex mate. Everybody gets sex misconstrued with love. When you see a female that has never orgasmed in her life, things are going bad in her relationship. She meets this guy, spends 2 weeks with this guy. They go to a hotel. Everything's lit. All of a sudden now, this guy has intercourse with her. She experiences her first orgasm. Here comes this feeling of love because I've never felt like this before. Meanwhile, it's just a sexual urge that's been taken to a next level, and you've reached a climax of a certain level. So sometimes people confuse that for love. A soulmate is a soulmate. What happens when you've been, look at our parents, for example. We have parents in their 70s and so forth. I don't know what they do in the room, but I know they're not active as they used to be. But guess what? Sex is not a big part of it anymore. It's about companionship. You know what I mean? A soulmate is a companion, somebody that you can like hang with, chill with, walk with, talk with. They're always there, bati and bench. You don't have to worry about nothing else because that is your mate.
Yeah, but best friends.
Best friends. And sometimes not even best friends. They just tolerate each other. Look at our Bundy and Peggy. But they've been married with children. Yeah. So they say when people are married with children, right, it's just you just get used to that, right? And that person becomes a person you want to stay with and tolerate for the rest of your life. But nowadays, because of all the temptations out there, people are not willing to give anything a try because everything is out there for them to grab. Hey, your boyfriend is not working out and he's pissing you off. Here's a guy in your DMs that has a 6-pack. he's accessible to you. This girl is not feeling, this guy, blah, blah, blah. Here's this guy that's been, hitting her up in a DM all the time. When the curse of the social media is crazy. Social media has done a lot of damage. It's a good thing because you get acquainted with people, you want to show off your business and so forth, but everybody is out there showing skin, male and female alike. It's the temptations, Nick. You could be a nice guy, you could be like, you know what, man, I like chocolate, but I don't really eat chocolate that much. If I start to see chocolate every 3 steps I take, chances are one of these days I'm going to grab that chocolate and eat it.
Yeah, you got to give it a try.
I mean, it's because it's right there, yeah. Right? It's right there. You have a girl, all of a sudden now she goes on Facebook, she gets a friend request, or you go on, somebody slides in your DM on Instagram. Oh, it's a friend that you had a crush on, or you guys got along with in high school, but hey, they just want to get reacquainted. All of a sudden now, good morning. Good morning. They say good morning to you all the time. You guys chit chat in the morning. That's a relationship forming. Whether you want to call it innocent or not, it's still a relationship forming because you're in constant communication. What happens that one day you just happen to have an argument with your partner? That person is always wishing you a good morning. Will wish you that good morning at the right time to make you guys connect.
Yeah.
Not saying it happens all the time, but it does happen.
It does happen. And I may or may not have been in that situation. But it does. It does happen. Now, back in the day, it was different than now.
Definitely right? Different.
Do you think men or women, like, who has a harder time being monogamous?
Oh man, they always say guys are dogs, men are dogs. So yeah. I would say men, because we just even now. Yeah. Females are there, but the biology of things, the biological structure of things is men can just go out there like dogs and just release and come back home.
Yeah.
It's hard to find women unless they're built different to do what men do. Mm-hmm. There are some that have learned that and they do it well. Very well. But a lot of them, Nick, cannot do that. Women are emotional. They use their heart. They're always looking for love. Yeah. And it can even stem down to, like, what happened in your childhood? Did you have a male role model in your life? Was your father in your life? So all of these things always attribute to what they're looking for, even in their adulthood. Yeah. So they're always looking for love. Yeah. Not all, but a few. And there's some women that, you know what? They gave their heart out. It's been crushed. They got damaged a few times and they refuse to just be like a woman. Right. Then they start to Steve Harvey the situation by thinking like a man.
Yeah. And you're right. You touch on a point that is a really sensitive point with females that, maybe grew up with not such a strong support system with a father or, mother or whatever the deal is. Right. And I've heard, like, people from broken homes kind of have that, issue of, being able to find love and what love actually is versus, actually seeing their parents in love from when they're young to old. They have that example. Now I have that example, as my parents have been in my life.
And so do I.
You know what I mean?
And they still are together.
And yeah,
and it's a beautiful thing.
Still together. So that's what I grew up seeing.
Exactly.
That's all I knew. So I grew up, I guess you could say, naive. And I learned, I learned the hard way.
I remember.
I learned.
Because we go way back as far as 16, high school. Yep. Like, come on. I know.
So, yeah, you know the stories. So like, not back then, different from now. But you would say that men still would be the ones that have a harder time being monogamous.
Yeah, because we're like, sorry, women, you guys are right when you say this. We're like dogs. Yeah. Like, no, we are a certain animal type that relates to other animals. Yeah. We can just go out there and just have fun. We just bust a nut and come back home. Yeah. We're not looking for love when we just want to just nut. We're not looking for all of that stuff. Yeah. But women are different.
Yeah. Does that stop at a certain age? Because I know some people that it's like that switch comes on and they have that person that they've been with for a little while and they really want to make that work and they want to change their life and go with that rule of being monogamous and, the white picket fence and all that stuff and make life, especially as they're getting older.
But you see
right?
what
I
you
think
just
there's
said?
an age gap or
Not
age
at all.
limit. No?
Not at all.
No. Okay.
Hugh Hefner.
That's Hugh Hefner, man.
But if every man had Hugh Hefner vibes,
yeah.
do you think they'll be talking about, oh my God, I just want to just the white picket fence and just be with that one person? The reason why you're seeing people in their 70s and 60s just chilling because they're older is because they're not getting any type of, you know what I mean? They're not getting any type of action like that. They're not getting women coming up to them in their 60s, 70s, or 80s trying to like make out. They're not going to clubs. They're not going to different places where, the temptations is there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so yes, men would probably have a harder time because remember, even when a woman's fed up, what does a woman do? A woman will cut you off completely.
It's over.
Doesn't like when she's
It's
fed
over.
up, yo, it's a mind and the heart.
I may or may not have experienced that.
Nick, I don't even know what you've experienced, but I wish you all the best.
Man, I do have some experience.
So
that's what I'm saying.
When a woman is fed up,
yeah,
they will not even have intercourse with you at all.
Yeah.
They can cut that off. Let you break up with your girl and your girl comes over wearing a nice outfit, nice lingerie, and gets down.
Yeah.
What? We just get up. We get up and it's down to business. So women have, women are definitely the toughest ones, and they can actually maintain more than men.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you're right. Because I've seen like the old folks in terms of guys still at the clubs.
Yes.
They're like 60, 70, believe it or not, still clubbing. There's this one cat that I knew. He was just at every event, every party. He would out party me, and he was like 70.
There you go.
Like 70 something.
And some of those men, they live longer.
Yeah.
Because some people that are in monogamous relationships, they just suppressing a whole bunch of urges. That's what they say. Sometimes they say your wife would pretty much outlive you.
Yeah.
Why do you think they say that? Some people are just free, just like we talked about too. When you have people in open relationships, like, you know what I mean? Like, these guys have a healthier relationship because they're not worried about cheating. They're not worried about all of that stuff.
Right.
They know it's just intercourse, and they train each other to actually be able to handle that.
Yeah.
Not everybody can handle that, but when they do it well.
Right.
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So monogamy, it's tough. Is it natural? I would say that we like to think it's natural, but we're animals. We have instincts. We have urges. Animal instinct, that's definitely a tough one. So it's very tough.
Right.
This day and age, temptations are everywhere.
Everywhere.
Just think about it. Ask yourself this, or let me ask you this. If our parents were living in this era, do you think they would be as faithful as they were back in the 70s?
That's a very good question. And yeah, I think it would be a little bit different, a little bit more challenging because there wasn't all this stuff back then.
No.
There was no, if you go really further back, there was no text messaging, that, whatever.
Exactly.
No internet, no nothing. There's no way to connect unless you picked up a phone and you called to the person's house, where you probably have to go through the parents and this and that or whatever. The older
those
brother.
Days.
The
Those
older
days.
protective brother or whatever the deal is. So, but it's completely different time.
Completely different times, man.
Yeah.
Like, dude, people are having all types of affairs without saying they're having affairs.
Yeah.
Just because you do not have intercourse with somebody does not mean you're not engaged in some sort of infidelity.
Yeah.
You can have intercourse just off of emotional intercourse or emotional cheating.
Yeah.
You can have mental cheating. There's some women that their men doesn't even stimulate them at all. When they open their mouth, they're like, but then they have this guy that they're so intrigued to hear this guy talk because this guy can mentally stimulate them.
Yeah.
They become dependent on that relationship because this guy is there for the mental stimulation.
Right.
And there's some people that are there to rub on the emotions of the female to make them feel good emotionally, where some couples do not do that anymore. And some people have gifts of that. So I've heard. And not only that, like, look at all the devices we have now. You could be there right now and your wife is probably texting somebody. The person just wished her a good night. Yeah. You don't even know who she's saying good night. You don't know because it's everywhere. You're like, hey, and you don't really ask. If you're not insecure, you're not even going to ask
Never
her.
gonna ask.
And even if you do ask, if you're, because you just want to ask, they'll be like, oh, it's just my friend, just my friend Cindy. There's so many outlets now that women can actually, and men could actually go ahead and express themselves, whether it's, developing a relationship so that when they do connect, they have some great time, or just some people just want to be entertained mentally and emotionally. And this goes for guys and girls.
Okay. So I'm going to ask one more question before
Sure.
we wrap up. Male, female friends. What do you think about that? Because, so you're in a committed relationship, because I know there's some women that don't like their man having female friends, and there's some guys that hate their woman having male friends. So what's your take on that?
Hey, listen, man, a guy and a girl can be friends if one of them or both of them are not attracted to each other.
Right.
If they are both attracted to each other from a mental standpoint, physical standpoint, then their friendship will have to come with benefits.
Got you.
It's just
Makes
the way
sense.
it is.
Makes sense.
When you see girls are like, oh, that's my guy friend. That's my guy friend. Why is he your guy friend? Why? Because she put him in the friend zone.
Right.
9 times out of 10. You never see guys that are attracted to a girl that's hot. Imagine me being friends with Halle Berry, and I'm like, yo, Halle Berry, no, I can't do anything with you. Let's just be friends. Are you nuts?
Yeah.
You don't see guys putting girls in friend zones, but females usually put in friend zones because they determine just off seeing you from the rip,
Yeah.
if you guys are gonna be friends or not.
Yeah.
A girl can see from the first time you open your mouth and talk to them, they know if they're gonna be banging you or not.
Yeah. I think also like the length of time, because if you've known, okay, if I meet a girl and she's gonna know people way before me.
For sure.
So if she knows someone and says that's her friend, then there's nothing I could say about it. I don't really like the male female friend
I
thing.
hear you.
But there's nothing I could say about it. But if that's a person where they're gonna have dinner every weekend together, they're gonna, they talk every night. If we have a disagreement, they call them for advice and say what I did.
They're in an open relationship.
They're in an open relationship.
You see what I'm saying? How do you say open relationship without showing that you're in an open relationship? While people are screaming, oh, those single, they're still doing stuff that open relationships do, but they're doing it in style and they're very, very sly and conniving at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
That's what it is.
Temptations are everywhere. You just got to try your best to be disciplined, structured. And I'll tell you something, Nick, a guy and girl can be friends, but one of them or both of them should not be, they're probably not attracted to each other.
Yeah.
Because there's no how the both of you would have such chemistry, but do not want to cross that line. If it doesn't happen now, it's either because that person's in a relationship, either one of them are in a relationship or both. But the time when opportunity arises, then things are bound to happen. Not saying it's not possible, but it's possible if you spend time with your friend, like you said, like talking every day, chilling, hanging out, drinking, all of these things, and you guys are not, then somebody is not attracted to somebody.
Yeah. I think guys could stay in the friend zone for 30 years.
Infinity Wars.
For 30 years.
Infinity,
waiting on that one opportunity.
50 years even.
That's a different type of friend because they didn't have anything. I find that people that have had something or been in a relationship or whatever the deal is, they have a different type of chemistry set.
Yeah.
Right? So if they broke up, there's a reason why they broke up, and they most likely kind of leave it at that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because they've been through it already.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They know what it is.
Yes.
And now they're on, both of them are on to new relationships. Or
that
whatever
is true. Yeah. That's
so it's easy to be a friend.
Exactly.
Because you know them.
Because you've,
you know
and plus you've already done that,
you've
been there,
already
done that. Exactly.
So there's no like zeal to want to.
Yes.
Right? So, and that's what you're saying, like people that haven't, and always wanted, like a guy always wanted this girl from like high school, but never got a chance, but they stayed friends and stayed connected.
They stayed friends.
That girl has had marriages, divorces, this, that, blah, blah.
Listen, man, anytime a guy opens the door for a female, do you think he's really just doing that just because he wants to be a gentleman? Maybe. But a lot of the times they're actually offering dick.
Gotcha.
What are you talking like? So when a
All the
guy
time,
is
that's on the menu.
it's because we're animals.
Yeah.
We're animals that really want to like maintain a structure. Don't do this, don't do that. When a guy is friends, a girl put him in a friend zone. And what kills me is a lot of females like to play this naive game. Oh, he doesn't like me. Then twos, this guy all of a sudden starts confessing and professing his love.
Yeah.
Then they get caught off guard. Rah, 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 and all that stuff, right? So it's like, when you put a guy in a friend zone and the guy hasn't had an opportunity of doing something with you, he is willing to wait till the end of time, because these guys are also the deadliest. Because just one day, when you break up with your man, when you're most vulnerable, that person will be there to lift you up with his penis.
That shoulder is there for your head to slide down.
Yeah, it's just it's the way life is, man.
Yeah.
And now it's even worse, because now there are a lot of things tempting people to have affairs, to cheat.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, man. Thank you for that. We could talk about this for the next hour,
all day,
easy,
all day. These are just based on our opinions and experiences, folks. So just take what you can get from it, and look at everything else as entertainment and just something to listen to while you're washing your dishes, doing your homework, reading, studying, or even making out with your significant other.
That's it. Hey, big up to the rest of the Talk Exchange crew. Remember, that's still going. Check out the Talk Exchange on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram, _Talk_Exchange. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Big up Maxine, Sharice, Karina, Mr. Dre.
The whole team.
You know what it is, the whole team.
TTE.
TTE. Thank you for tuning in. Catch us next time. Peace.
Peace.